It's always fun to go back and walk through the pages of toy history. Of course, a lot of today's most famous brands got their start in the 1980s and continue to bring us new content using their evergreen range of characters. That being said, many popular intellectual properties may have peaked in the 80s, but they got their start much earlier. In some cases, these brands that got their start in the 80s may have drawn a level of influence and style from the 1970s, and in some cases, even earlier. Masters of the Universe is certainly one example of this. Now, as told in multiple toy history documentaries highlighting the beginnings of the brand, the character of Battle Cat was born in 1982 due to a lack of budget to bring additional toys into the He-Man line. With their backs against the wall, Mattel opted to utilize existing tooling from the animal that came as part of the Big Jim on the Tiger Trail set. Being a little out of scale, they opted to put a saddle and a helmet on the orange and black tiger, decked it out with a new color scheme, and thus He-Man's ferocious beast of a mount entered the world of pop culture. The item would subsequently be redone with purple flocking in 1983 and serve as Skeletor's own evil beast named Panther. But this wasn't the only time that a Big Jim item found its way into He-Man and Skeletor's world of Eternia. In that same 1983 year that saw the aforementioned Panther brought into the MOTU range, Mattel would dig into the vaults of their tooling catalog once more and make use of the eagle creature that was also a part of the previous Big Jim toy line. Masters of the Universe fans and collectors will naturally recognize the toy's mold to be identical to that of Zoar, the heroic fighting falcon, and Screech, the evil barbarian bird. But before their entry into the MOTU line, the more real-world looking eagle was released in the early part of the 1970s as part of a box set that was known as the Eagle of Danger Peak. You can have a look at the set here, which comes with the eagle itself, a backpack and clothes for your Big Jim action figure, some additional colored accessories, and the eagle can sit on a perch to give it a natural, realistic pose. The eagle was included as well in another release known as the Big Jim Eagle Ranger set, and do take note that while the white and brown scheme is more common for this eagle, there was an alternate color set that was produced for the item. Now, while Big Jim did have selected bits of media out there and multiple commercials to show children what they might be getting, the entire Big Jim toy line didn't have the same volume of media for children of the 1970s compared to the He-Man focused media of the 80s, and thus the toys of Zoar and Screech are more recognizable to the casual collector than that of the Big Jim Eagle. That's certainly not to take away from anything that Mattel did with their Big Jim line, which is still collectible to this day, but it's worth it to piece together this part of toy history and explain how one item found reuse in another form in a subsequent decade. And it's also worth putting this discussion into the Toy Connections video library as a reference guide for people looking for more information on toy histories. Note that the existence of this eagle is the reason why there's a 1972 date stamp on Zoar and Screech, simply due to the fact that it matches the date stamp on the Big Jim Eagle that served as their direct toy predecessor. And some may notice that while Zoar and Screech can be played with as standalone items, their scale does seem a little bit off compared to that of your regular MOTU action figure. I'll point out though that the trigger flapping mechanism on the bird's back was present in the Big Jim Eagle, so that's why it was still there after its transition into the MOTU line. Now, the scale being a little bit off is simply due to the fact that the Big Jim action figures were sized at 9.5 inches tall, so when pulling animals from that line into the 5.5 inch Masters of the Universe toy line, it stands to reason that it's going to scale somewhat out of proportion. Take into account as well that while they're both considered large birds, an eagle is supposed to be larger than that of a falcon, which of course Zoar represents. That said, with Eternia being a fantasy world, you do have to suspend your disbelief a little, particularly due to the fantastical colors of Zoar and the fact that Zoar turns into the Sorceress and back during the events of the Masters of the Universe Filmation cartoon series. Additionally, during the bird's transition between the Big Jim and Masters of the Universe toy lines, a more natural brown and white colored cardboard pop-up of Zoar appeared as part of the 1982 MOTU board game ahead of its 1983 toy release, and it looked more like the Big Jim toy than Zoar's eventual orange and blue color scheme. Interestingly, also in the early 1970s, Mattel would release a large flying toy eagle by the name of Zoar with a slightly different spelling that eventually was used for the MOTU bird, so the name was conceived well before its introduction into the MOTU toy range. It's clear that Zoar's color scheme was in flux as well leading up to the 1983 release, seeing its various cross-cell art would show different shades and patterns, and that even includes potential early color choices for the armor and stand before the red color was chosen. The Battle Ram blog website also shows a bird prototype from a user named Tokyo Never, though it's hard to tell whether or not this prototype was meant as a Zoar and Screech MOTU prototype or if it was intended as a predecessor prototype to the Big Jim bird. Of course, Zoar and Screech's accessories and colors differ greatly from that of the Big Jim Eagle, but it's always worth going back to see how it all got started, whether a toy's entry into a line was due to careful long-term planning, or whether companies like Mattel were simply making off-the-cuff decisions to put more product onto store shelves for children to buy. But this sort of thing happens time and again. Famously, the Transformers would also pull items from Japanese company Takara's existing tooling catalog of Diaclone as well as Microman toys, so the connection from Mattel's Big Jim property to its barbarian-themed Masters of the Universe property certainly isn't the only example of the subject matter at hand in this video. Overall, it's been enjoyable to go back and see how it all started. I got this figure back around Christmas of 2022 for a great price from my good friend Eddie. Note that the back of one claw on this figure is damaged, but seeing as these don't pop up too often when you're digging for toys out in the wild, it's still a more than worthy addition that brings a part of toy history into my personal collection, so I'm happy to own it. Anyway, feel free to share a Masters of the Universe or Big Jim toy memory of yours in the comments section below, and you can check out some of my other MOTU toy history content by clicking on any of the videos right over here. Subscribe on your way out if you already haven't, and otherwise, good journey, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching, and take care.